Yes, I'm definitely wearing a loud top today. There's so many movies like, that Will Smith one. We're just a little bit short of salt at home, so I thought I'd bring some. Great Salt Lake State Park. Going down to the lake to check out the salt. There's so many movies like, that Will Smith one. You know, the alien invasion thing. Was it Independence Day, was it? Anyway.
I can't remember.
Yeah. And there was quite a few scenes where all these RVs are parked on a lake and then they all headed off on like this mass exodus all from the same direction. You know, on this sort of stuff. Another very interesting fact is that this lake that Salt Lake City is based around was once part of a much, much bigger lake which extends all the way over to the Nevada border. And so the Bonneville Salt Flats is a very small salt lake, but it's still very large. I just mean by comparison to this, it's a small one. But that's where they do the land speed tests of motorcycles, cars and everything. Well, this was part of the same lake, and the whole thing was called Bonneville, Lake Bonneville, which was probably, thousands of years ago.
It looks like those lights. It's also a concert venue.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Uh-huh.
So this is where it would be, the parking would be, I would imagine.
Salt. Salt all around us. Wow. Look at this, it's crystallized. Wow. This is so amazing.
Ask me what I'm doing.
What are you doing?
We're just a little bit short of salt at home, so I thought I'd bring some. Oh.
Oh yeah, wow.
Cool, huh?
Yeah.
Mental.
Is it salty?
No, a tiny bit. Okay, standing on the edge of the Great Salt Lake, and this is the largest salt lake in the Western Hemisphere. It's the 8th largest terminal lake in the world. And a terminal lake, the definition of terminal lake means that water flows in, but it doesn't flow out anywhere. So this is like a basin where all the runoff from melted snow and rains gathers. It sits around, and then as the seasons change and the temperatures warm up, the water evaporates and it leaves this intense layer of salt at the bottom, and it gets exposed, and then you get, massive crystals of salt, on the surface. It's incredible, really. Yes, I'm definitely wearing a loud top today. This is the last piece of merchandise that we got from a dirt biking event, which was when we went to the motocross final in Parla, California, earlier this year. And yeah, it's the first opportunity I got to wear it since I haven't been riding, and there hasn't been any other dirt biking events, supercross or motocross, since. So yeah, this is my vintage Fox rider's jersey.
Looking good, lovey.
Thank you.
And now we will continue driving towards the lake itself. I mean, this is the lake, but there are parts of the lake where there's actually water. So we're gonna
go around there and have a look.
Yeah. So as you can see, it's not all dry salt, it's actually a proper lake with boats on it, and you can probably swim. Not sure about if you can swim now, but I'm sure people do in summer. So I think the body of the lake is about 4,500 square kilometers. If I'm not mistaken, I need to double check this number, but I think that's what I read about the lake. There you go, very expensive salt. It smells of fish. Can you smell like the smell of fish?
Well, yes, and look, there's a dead bird.
Oh no.
Which I guess is probably, oh look, yeah, there's a few of them.
I wonder why.
Well, I don't know, you would think that they'd be smart enough, you know, just
Not
through
to drink?
nature's gifts to them, that this is water that they should drink.
There are so many little bugs just flying around, and it actually smells of fish quite strongly. You know, this salty fish smell like you'd get at a fish market? That's what it smells like. Interesting. Dead birds around, again, have no idea why, probably from drinking salty water. And yeah, that's a massive, massive lake. Apparently it changes its shape depending on the season in terms of the size of it. But yeah, you can swim and, well, I don't know about swimming, but definitely get on a boat. There are boats around, and people are sailing. So yeah, that's Great Salt Lake. See, this is what you see in front of you with that massive pipe chimney in the center of it, which is a smelter, I think.
Probably.
Is the largest. It's called Bingham Canyon Mine, and it's the second largest copper producer in the United States. Rio Tinto Kennecott. Interesting.
And an example of the rocks around here. Look at that.
Looks like it's copper.
It looks like it's got so much copper in already, and that's just a rock lying on the ground. Yeah, it's funny that it doesn't rust, right?
Yeah,
Well, actually, copper doesn't rust anyway, does it?
you would think it would leach something out or something.
Copper tarnishes, right? So it doesn't, there's no greenness here. But yeah,
I think this has already been processed too.
maybe
'Cause
scrap, you're
it's
saying.
got a slag look to it.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
I
that
think-
has definitely been heated.
I think this is waste material from
Uh-huh.
their process.
Right. So
'Cause
they've
that
got
is-
the good stuff out,
Yeah.
and this is what's left over. Yeah, so in fairly recent times, I'm not exactly sure when, but not so long ago there was a very big flood here, I guess because this water doesn't drain anywhere. If there was a heavy winter or excessive rains, then this water level would have been much higher than it normally is, and it put this place, the visitor centre, at risk a lot. So the grateful or the helpful people over at the copper mine said, oh yeah, we can fix that. So they brought over a whole bunch of their slag, as it's called, basically waste material once they've extracted the copper from the rocks. And that's what all this stuff is here. And this is why it looks that coppery colour, because it is remnants of the copper, but they have pulled as much copper as they can get out of the rocks. And the process that they use to extract the copper from the rocks creates this as a byproduct, which is just rubble, and they call it slag, you know. And in some of the rocks you can see there's melted, you know, it's like the rock has melted. So yeah, so this is all rock that's left over, scrap from the mine across the road. But they did this to build up the land a bit more to protect it from the next time there's excessive water levels in the lake.